Hi, I'm Kev Jackson, and today we're going to talk about project terms that you're going to need to know to get ahead in project management. Let's do it. How many times have you been in a meeting and people are talking about things on your project that you don't know the meaning of? As a project manager, you should know these, right? Well, not always. And even if you've heard of them before, what on earth do they mean? Well, today we're going to look at some of those terms and demystify them. So let's start with the person at the top of the project tree, who's known as the sponsor. Now, this is the person who most likely gave you the project, and they ultimately are going to make decisions and champion the project. They'll help you to get resources, budget, and give you direction when you need it. Now, this person is giving you the project because either they don't have the time or the skills to do it, and they're entrusting it to you to deliver. Now, the sponsor will either give you or work with you to create something called a project mandate. Now, this is your initial authorization to start doing some work on the project, and it'll contain something called the exec summary. This is a very high-level document that will tell you what the problem is that the project needs to solve, why it needs to be solved, and possibly how quickly. It's what you'd probably call a starting point. This document will allow you to start thinking about the project, fleshing out who might need to be involved, who the key players are, what risks there might be, and so forth. This will create your scope, which is in essence a list of things that the project will do, and also things that it won't. Project managers talk about these things as in scope and out of scope. From this document, you'll start to think about a group of people or organizations known as stakeholders. These are people who have a vested interest in what you're doing and the project. And let's say that it's a software project. The stakeholders might include the head of IT, head of sales, the operations manager. Look at it like this, in two elements. Firstly, who's going to see a difference to their working life when the project is delivered? So customers, accounting, operations, purchasing maybe. These are your initial stakeholders. Then secondly, look at how you get to deliver that successful project. And that might mean adding some IT development teams in, communications, purchasing. You'll want a representative as one of your stakeholders, because if you don't, then they're going to kick up a fuss when they're being asked to do something that they had no idea about. Now, keep these people on side because they can be your best allies or your worst nightmare. Oh, and they'll also be the people who ask things halfway through the project like, can you add this in as well? Now, this is called scope creep. We'll talk about that in a later video. But these people will end up being your project board, and they will need to sign off that you've got their interests covered. So your stakeholders are extremely important. Underneath the stakeholders sit a group of people who actually know what needs to be done. These people are called SMEs, which stands for subject matter experts. These are the people that if you want something done, they will know how to do it. Again, useful allies to have because a quick 2-minute conversation can save you a ton of work. If they say something like, we already do something similar to this over here, that then saves you a lot of work. Now, once you've started to get the people and the scope together, this is going to start to add sections to something called a project charter. This document is where you as the PM document all the information, who's involved, what you're going to achieve, how long you think it'll take, how much it might cost, and your initial risks. You'll revisit your charter over a number of times over the course of a project because it will change, and you'll need to make sure you record why it's changed, who authorized the change, what impact it will have on time, cost and quality. This is known as governance. who can make those changes and that they are documented. As a PM, you need to cover your arse with good governance and communication, and they will both help that enormously. Another term that you'll come across is WBS. This is called the work breakdown structure. Think of it like chopping a task into its component parts. So building a house could be broken into buy the land, design the house, build the house, interior design, and moving in. Then you'll take each one of those elements and break that down. So designing a house could be broken into employ an architect, get designs, approve designs, and get planning permission. If that in itself needs to be broken down, then you can do that. So employing an architect could be broken down to the next level down into research architects, look at previous work, get feedback from previous clients, shortlist architects, and choose the architect. You'll keep dropping down levels until you've basically created yourself a task list. Then this list of tasks is added to something called a Gantt chart. A Gantt chart is the industry standard name for a timetable of events that you can add names and deadlines to. And it will show you how long it's going to take to build this house. The key elements of this are known as the critical path. These are the things that have to happen to make this project a success. As you're doing all these things, you're going to start to come across a lot of what ifs. What if the builder is late starting? What if planning don't approve the designs? There'll be a long list of what ifs. These are your risks. And for each one, you'll start looking at the likelihood of them happening and what impact they will have on your project. Then you can start saying, if this happens, I could do this to reduce it. This is risk mitigation. Sometimes there is no mitigation and you have to accept the risk, but it's good to know that you've considered it when somebody, most likely your sponsor, asks you. Okay, so that's my baker's dozen of project terms that you'll definitely need to know. Put any comments below if you want any others, and don't forget to like and subscribe to this channel to get more great tips from Kev Jackson Limited. Bye for now.